Right, so trying to tackle this front leg, which is out of line. No matter what I did, I couldn't actually separate the mortise and tenon front or back. I was only going to burn the wood really badly. It looked like the best place to do it is at the rear joint, so I just cut it. And so I'm just going to put a couple of dowels. These are a little bit large, so these are 17 mil. I think I'll go with 15 mil. Just don't have any on hand, and so I started drilling out the other piece, and so in order to make sure I can keep everything aligned, I'm just using one of these vertical jigs, since there's no way I can line this up in the drill press. So yeah, I'll do the top dowel first, so there's only one. Then I'll be able to rotate the piece to get it exactly the way I want it. And then put in the second dowel. Here we go. Okay, so 2 dowel holes drilled in the side piece. Okay, so I don't have any hardwood dowel, so I don't have any 15 mil softwood dowel, so I've just taken the 17 mil one that I have and trimmed it down just for the purposes of testing it out. I've drilled one hole in the upright, and so I can mate them up like this, and then I'll be able to rotate this such that I get proper alignment. So here is a sort of a test. You can see that the front leg is now down on the bench just like the back leg. Before, this was up about a good ½ inch. So this was going like this. And you can probably see the slight angle here now. So I'll try and minimize the disruption on the outside and then do most of the correcting on the inside. Chipped a little bit of the finish off here, which is unfortunate, but hey, we'll fix all that up as well. Okay, so carry on when I get some hardwood dowel. Okay, so here's the mock-up, having redone this joint here at the back. I'm out of luck in the sense that I was hoping I could get it to fit without having to worry about the thickness of the saw cut. I'm out of luck, so I've just stuck a scraper in here for the moment, but I'm going to have to put a bit of veneer or something in here to sort out this gap so that everything aligns properly, and then to square it up. You can see here that bottom to top, we're now front to back aligned, and got rid of the twist. So hopefully that means this leg will now sit nice and vertical, line with the back one. So okay, just a bit more just to see how I fill this gap here on the inside surface, and then I guess we're ready for glue up. Okay, so the new joint is put back together, this one right here. There is a slight little overhang now on the outside, but it's almost not noticeable, so I might just leave it. However, it was worth all the messing around because, ta-da, sitting nice and square now. I mean, that had a huge gap here last time. So, I think we're almost, dare I say it, getting to the point where we could start even gluing this thing up. Probably a little bit more fitting to do on some of these other pieces, just to be absolutely sure, but we're really close now. So yeah, I think that overall that's gone well. Took a while, but yeah, hopefully this chair will last quite a while when we're done. Okay, at this stage I think we're done with the main structural woodworking. The front leg here on the right now sits nice and vertical compared to what it was before, and the joint at the top closes off nicely. Everything else seems to be fitting fairly well. The only complication which I mentioned early on is, since this frame now fits together much more accurately, unfortunately the upholstered seat which was made for it at some point after it was last fixed up doesn't fit properly in anymore. So I'm no upholsterer, so we're not going to show what we do about that, but first of all we get the frame all back together. So since we're now ready for gluing, I think probably the next step would be to start finish work, so I can hopefully start blending in all these different woods so that it looks a nice homogeneous piece by the time we're done. So we'll get on to that. Okay, I've started to stain the uprights to hide the different wood types. Unfortunately I have to stain them quite dark to hide the difference in wood tone, but I'll see about maybe lightening it out a little bit later, but but at least it's starting to look, I think it'll probably be okay. Okay, I think it's all fitted at this point, so we're pretty much ready for glue up. And yeah, even the seat fits in the aperture now, which is nice as well. So yep, happy with it at this point. Time for glue. Well, correction, maybe I'll do the finish on the uprights and the cross pieces before I go back to gluing, because it'll be a lot easier to do the finish when each of the pieces is separate when it's all glued up. Okay, I think we're at the major glue up time, which is a little bit intimidating, because up until this point I have choices if things are not going correctly. Once it's glued up, no more choices. So the plan at the moment is that I will basically glue everything down one side, put the other upright on without any glue, clamp everything up so that essentially we glue it all down one side. And then when that's all set up, remove the unglued side and glue that up. So hopefully we'll then have the chair back together. I've just put a single coat of shellac along the uprights. The color match is not going to be great, but hey, it'll be good enough. I decided for these front pieces here, and for these cross pieces, I'll put a little bit of glue along the back, but I won't put any glue on the front, so that that side of the mortise won't be glued, so that if there is give on these back pieces, it's not going to be trying to wrench this front piece of wood out. Hopefully there'll be a little bit of movement there, and it would eliminate any undue stress. I'd really prefer not to glue them at all, but I'm paranoid that things will squeak when I put it back together, and I don't want this chair to squeak at all when it's back together. Right, let's give it a shot. Right, it's all glued back together. There's a few little things cropped up after the glue up. Unfortunately, the darkness shows up much more now because I've put about 3 or 4 coats of shellac on the uprights. But when I polish, I'll try and blend it in a little bit. See how we go. The couple of things that I found after the glue up. Of these 4 mortise and tenons here, of course, Sod's Law, 3 of them sit absolutely perfectly. The front shoulder of this is spot on once I relocated to the leg. But the back shoulder here on the tenon looks like it was cut back, so when everything was glued up there was a very slight gap here on the rear shoulder. So I cleaned that out and managed to fit a sliver of veneer in here to close the gap, so we have full, if you like, structural integrity and connectivity there. So I just have to drill a little fixing hole here as the retaining screw for the seat once the seat is in, but I'll leave that until it's finally located and I can accurately position where that hole should be. Right, there we go, that's it I think. A few more little bits and pieces to do on it, but I'd say for the purposes of this video series, we'll call it done. Took a tad longer than I was expecting, but I think it looks reasonably okay in the end. And yeah, certainly was an experience. Okay guys, I hope it's been of interest, and thanks a lot for watching.